Fam, the song we're about to dive into requires us to go back, to take a little trip back to 2001, prior to September 11th permanently changing America's emotional atmosphere. The .com fantasy is starting to collapse, right? You remember everybody thought that, having a website means you're going to be a millionaire suddenly? Popular culture still feels bright, excessive, and manufactured. However, MTV controls youth culture. Britney Spears, NSYNC, and the Backstreet Boys are dominating a world built around image and celebrity and constant stimulation. And somehow, Aerosmith, a band formed 3 decades earlier, stands directly inside that world. They'd survived a bunch of addictions, breakups, and irrelevance, and then reinvented themselves so successfully that they're now sharing the Super Bowl halftime stage with NSYNC and Britney Spears and Mary J. Blige and the rest of them. I think Nelly was there that year. But survival created a new question. How much could Aerosmith actually change to remain culturally alive before losing contact with themselves? The world ego at this time is learning to package everything, including rebellion, youth, and authenticity. Generations appeared to be competing. But of course, underneath, everybody's just chasing the same thing. The feeling of still being alive in a culture becoming numb from overstimulation. And into that world comes Jaded. Without any further ado, family, we're going to let him cook. Please cook, sir. First of all, shout out to the young Mila Kunis. You know what I'm saying? This is like prior to that 70s show era, I think. Maybe not. But it's just, you think that's where it's at, but is that where it's supposed to be? Right? He said, when you're young, you think you know everything, right? Let's hear what he's talking about. Steve Tyler has an enormous mouth. Pause. So jaded. You think that's where it's at, but is that where it's supposed to be? You're getting it all over me. X-rated. My baby blue. Yeah, I'm thinking about you. My baby blue. Fire. Jaded you. Damn. So he says, X-rated. Even though, it's like, by saying X-rated, you're saying like you're getting into some things that are a little bit beyond your depth, beyond your maturity level. So he says, my baby blue. The blueness represents the blues, like a tired, old, exhausted soul. But then he calls her a baby. It's like, there's this contrast between the youth and what you're going after. Right? Is his song maybe about noticing that the world isn't all that you thought that it would be, right? And that has to be the line of the song. I'm the one, right? He's saying, look, my emotional neglect, my failure to show up for you, right? Has a lot to do with the fact that you are the way you are. So the whole verse seems to kind of be blaming her naivety, but then the end, when the beat drops, he reveals that he's played a big role. We'll slip into the velvet glove. he says, we'll take a ride to the other side. It's like, maybe we can get together. Maybe we can change things. Maybe we can still mend it, you know? And the velvet glove represents, you know, the softness, which covers, I guess, the hardness, I guess, you know? What does that "baby, I'm afraid of you" mean? Right? Maybe the reason that he jaded her is because someone in the past jaded him. That "baby, I'm afraid of you" is like, yo, like I don't want, you know, to be vulnerable at all. You know, it's like maybe that's the reason that, you know, he has this abandonment issue in the first place. He fears the youth. He fears admitting that there may be something beautiful to life or something worth holding on to. That was a deep line. I'm afraid of you. You're thinking so complicated. I've had it all up to here, but it's so overrated. Love and hate wouldn't change. Love me, because I'm gonna tell you this, I've loved Aerosmith ever since what was it, Walk This Way, you know, we introduced Run DMC. Oh yeah, Aerosmith had a little something to do with the birth of hip hop, with some of the founding fathers. Please believe it. Jaded you. I mean, from the music video, it appeared at least to have a beautiful ending. Right. And now that I've heard it, I think I understand why this song belonged in 2001. Because we began in a world kind of becoming brighter and faster and more overstimulating, right? And that video kind of had a lot to do with that. MTV, celebrity culture, and advertising were constantly promising young people another image, another experience, and another way to try to become somebody. And then right in the middle of that world, you know, there's Aerosmith, you know, a band that had survived decades of fame, addiction, and reinvention. So at first, the song seemed to be describing a young woman who's become difficult to reach, right? She's seen too much or felt too much and now seems, you know, incapable of having any feelings. But then Steven Tyler makes the confession that changes the song. He helped to make her that way. And that feels important because it would have been easy for an older generation to look at a young people in 2001 and say, you're spoiled, you're distracted, you're numb. But Steven turns the accusation back toward himself. Maybe her condition didn't appear out of nowhere, right? Maybe the adults built the culture, right? Celebrated the excess and remained absent, and then criticized their children for adapting to the world they inherited. You know, that might also explain why the song sounds so bright while carrying something painful underneath. I've been getting a lot of that lately on this channel. It comes packaged like the culture is, questioning, colorful, immediate, and almost impossible not to enjoy. I don't think Jaded gives us a clean solution. Steven wants a connection, but he also recognizes that love doesn't automatically repair the consequences of his own absence. And, sometimes the first honest act is simply admitting, I participated in this. Look, family, like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you want. I want to dive into more Aerosmith because I grew up with the sound, but I never did any deep dives. Let me know if this is cool with you down in the comment section below. Family, I love you. Without any further ado, guys, please let me cook and have a great week and stay balanced until next time.